Hey guys, today real briefly we're going to talk about fishing thick matted vegetation and weeds, and I'm going to share with you the rod and reel setup that I like to use when doing this. When we're talking about fishing real thick weeds and matted vegetation, the whole name of the game is power and speed. As far as getting the fish out of the weeds as fast as possible, you got to have the right equipment and the right line to get the job done, because the longer that these fish are in the weeds, the greater the chance is that you're going to lose them. So just real fast, I'm going to talk about the setup that I use. It's an all KastKing setup, from the line to the reel and the rod. I fish with almost exclusively the 50-pound KastKing braid. I prefer the green, moss green usually, but it's really good line, super affordable, and just as good as all the other brands out there. You know, it's low stretch, great strength, and you have to have braid when you're fishing thick weeds and punching weeds and fishing a frog in weeds. That braid just cuts through the weeds so much better than mono or fluorocarbon. It's just an absolute must. So that's what I use first of all, is the 50-pound KastKing braid. The reel I use is this KastKing BX1000H. It's a high-speed reel, 7.1 to 1. You got to have a high-speed reel to get these fish out as fast as possible. And this is a technique that is really rough on equipment, and this is a reel that has really stood up well for me. I've used it for a good couple months now, and it has performed very well, and it's just super affordable, and I have no complaints with it. I had the just the regular BX1000 before, the mid-range speed, and that's what made me decide to get the higher speed one, because I liked it so much. But this has been a great reel. It's really stood up well to punching and frogging, which can be really rough on reels. Finally, the rod I use, this is a KastKing frogging and punching rod. This comes in two different sizes. This is the 7'2" It's the heavy power. This is the one I use for frogging. I kind of like a little bit shorter for frogging, which is why I choose this 7'2". It's a lot easier for working the bait when you got to have the rod tip down. But this is a really nice rod, and I have 3 or 4 KastKing rods now, and I plan on getting a whole bunch more. For frogging and punching weeds, you got to have a rod that's got power and backbone, and this definitely has it. And for the price, you're not going to find a better rod. I think this one is, I want to say, 82 bucks, so it's really affordable. These Perigee rods from KastKing, they have just a bunch of different models that are specifically designed for almost every technique you can think of. So this is a great frogging rod. For the punching, I'm going to go with the 7'6", heavier, extra heavy action, just because I like a little bit more length and a little bit more backbone when I'm actually punching down in the weeds. So, but these rods are really great. They got what they call a micro polish finish. They got a kind of a rough texture to them. The blanks haven't been sanded, which actually makes the rod about 10% stronger than most others. They just got a really good overall look, super sensitive, very light, and they just feel really well in your hand, and I've just been super pleased with them. So give them a shot. Check them out on eposeidon.com. This whole entire setup you can get for about 140 bucks or less, which, when it comes to getting high quality, you know, punching gear, it can get awful expensive. And this setup has just been great, and you really cannot beat the price. So check it out if you get a chance. KastKing, eposeidon.com. You won't be sorry. See ya.